I'm going to share my sound with you really quick so we can take a listen. This is actually from Telegram. So take a listen. Do you want to listen to the 6-minute version or the 1 minute and 42 version of the Pentagon can't speak of the validity of the Milley report? What do you think? Which one? Which one's better?
Well, I don't know. You want to keep it in context, you do the 6-minute.
Let's keep it in context, guys. So we'll take it, and we can pause. Let me know when you want me to pause, and we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and bring it up.
And with that, we'll take questions. Bob.
Hey, John, thank you. I have a question for you on the August 29th drone strike in Kabul.
Yeah.
Was that vehicle tracked and targeted because of its activities and the belief that it was carrying explosives, or was it tracked and targeted because the driver was believed or known to be an ISIS operative?
Yeah, Bob, as you know, Central Command is continuing to assess this strike, and I just don't want to get out ahead of their work on this.
So you can't say what the reason for targeting it was in the first place?
I can't speak to that at this time. I'm going to let CENTCOM complete their work and then and let them speak to what they find as a result of that. I think that's the best course right now.
Can you pause it?
Jennifer.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. Now, because it goes on to Milley after that. But that is pivotal, because if anybody watched Blinken yesterday, and Rand Paul was all over this, how they blew up a guy that was helping us. All he was doing was taking water jugs out of his car. And they wanted to say, yeah, we got an ISIS guy. We got an ISIS K guy. Blew up all these beautiful little kids.
Yes, that's 100%
right?
true.
Now, what was I saying before? Bolton wanted, they shot our drone down. And Trump was like, well, what are we going to do? Blow up innocent people? They blew up innocent people. And now they're lying about it because they got caught. They got caught. And now nobody talks about the night before where they blew up some guy in the middle of the desert driving a tuk-tuk. What happened to that ISIS K guy driving a tuk-tuk? Do you know any ISIS K guys driving a tuk-tuk? Never heard of such a thing. Probably some poor cab driver going home to his wife, gonna have some goat milk. What the hell? They don't even talk about it anymore.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing that took place with Obama when he was doing drone strikes on hospitals over there. Same thing. They love death.
But it's the same cabinet. It's the
Correct.
same murderous row from Benghazi. It's the same murderous row from pulling out of Iraq that created the caliphate that Donald Trump obliterated.
Correct.
Okay? And it's the same people. They want us in this war. They want to go back. They can't wait. They're salivating because that's the money machine.
Yeah.
Why do you think Bush, in his 9/11 speech, the guy who brought us into Iraq in the first place for invisible bombs that didn't exist, okay? He's up there comparing 9/11 to us.
Yeah, to January 6th.
He's
Exactly. That's what they want to do.
It's the uniparty. They're all warmongers. They're all demons. They're all reptiles. When I call people reptilians, everyone's like, Carly, stop saying stuff like that. People think we're stupid. I said, you don't understand. It's a reptilian demonic spirit.
Yes.
I can joke about it. So then who's ever watching my Telegram or watching what I post says, oh, she's just one of them crazy nutbirds. No, people that understand what I'm talking about, when I put that out there, I'm showing you. This is the demonic spirit. This is the war spirit. Now,
Got it.
It's they've been shown that now we don't know. We're investigating. How can you investigate an innocent family you blew up if we have nobody on the ground?
100%. Let's go.
We have no one on the ground. So now the next part of this is about Milley, because they're all over this, especially that Jennifer Griffin from Fox.
Mm-hmm.
She's been over there in Germany with Milley. She actually interviewed Milley last week. So she's like the Pentagon girl, and she's trying to debunk all of this from the book. So she's there, so you'll recognize her voice. But these are the next questions that were all about Milley. So I'll play it.
My man, and then let's go ahead and get into more of this information.
John, there are two allegations in the new Woodward-Costa book that have to do with this building, in particular, whether General Milley inserted himself into the nuclear launch process. Is there anything unusual that you've seen, or that is the Defense Secretary concerned about the reports that General Milley inserted himself into tried to stop the president at the time from having the ability to launch nuclear weapons? Can you explain how the process works? And it's been explained to us that he reviewed the procedures, and that he told them that he should be on any conference call with the president, that's part of the procedures. Is that part of the nuclear procedures? I'm confused.
Woo! Well, I certainly can't speak to the revelations that are coming out in the book. I think you saw
I hate his tie.
by the chairman's office specifically addressing this issue. What I can tell you is that it is not uncommon at all for the department to continue to review security protocols, particularly when it comes to our strategic deterrence capabilities, that we constantly take a look at the protocols and the procedures to make sure that they are still relevant. And these protocols have been in place for a long time, a couple of decades, and so it's not uncommon. It's also completely appropriate, and again, I'm not speaking to the validity of things that are in the book, but it is completely appropriate for the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, as the senior military advisor to both the Secretary and the President, to want to see those protocols reviewed on whatever frequent basis that he wants to do that. So again, I can't speak to the validity, but I see nothing in what I've read that would cause any concern.
Liar.
What is the chairman's role in terms of the nuclear launch, if there were a nuclear launch by the president?
Well, the chairman is the key military advisor to the president, to the commander-in-chief, and in a sequence of events whereby a commander-in-chief would be making that decision, that most grave of decisions, the chairman would be intimately involved in that process, in providing advice and counsel to both the secretary and to the president. Obviously, the president in this case makes the final decision, and by statute, by law, he is the prime military advisor to the president, and this would be a military decision of profound proportions here and importance. So he would be absolutely involved in that process, soup to nuts.
Was there anything unusual said to the Chinese counterpart in the phone calls, as far as you understand?
Well, again, all I've seen is the same reporting that you've seen, Jen. I can't speak to the specifics of the conversation.
Your Department of Defense, what are you talking
obviously
about?
Before,
do you know he said advisor using 5 different words? 5 different words to say all his only capacity is to advise. He doesn't touch the keys. He's not in a chain of command. He's just an advisor. He cannot stop. If the president decides to blow shit up with a nuclear weapon, Milley has no authority at all.
Correct. 100%.
He doesn't have a key. He doesn't have to sign nothing. He's just advised. How many different words? He must have broke out the thesaurus out of his ass to get all these different words for advisor.
100%. I totally agree with you. I mean, this guy's a bum. He's a bum. He's a liar. They're all liars.
Ridiculous how they spin.
We'll see how it turns out.
It's like I make these videos for everybody, and it's just I have a toothache today. This shit gave me a toothache.
Well, it's giving me a migraine. Let's go. It's nauseating. Let's figure this out.
Took office.
He looks
but
so nervous.
I would add, if I may, again, that it is not only common, it's expected that a chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff would continue to have counterpart conversations. I mean, he is basically the chief of defense for the United States. We don't call him that, but he has chief of defense counterparts around the world. And having worked for a chairman myself for quite a bit, I can tell you frequent communication with 2 countries like Russia and China is not atypical at all for a chairman of the Joint Chiefs. And those communications are they're routine, they're staffed, they're coordinated, and they're transparent, as transparent as they can be.
Would it also be routine in these counterpart conversations if the United States was planning to strike one of these locations for the chairman to inform his counterpart that the U.S. was about to strike, as is quoted in the Woodward book?
Again, I'm not going to get into the
I'm not talking about
blah,
blah, blah, blah, blah.
details in
Question,
reported.
Would that be a common part of these conversations, is if the United States was planning to conduct a strike on a location,
Right.
would the chairman then call his counterpart to alert them to an incoming strike?
Without speaking to that hypothetical, what I again would say is that these parts of the value, a part of the value of having these communications, particularly with countries like Russia and China, with which we are experiencing tension, is to try to reduce the risks of miscalculation and conflict, to try to take down tensions, to make clear what our national security interests are on you pick the issue. And that's the communication channel between our chairman and a chief of defense.
You gotta stop. I can't listen
really
to him anymore. I can't.
Vehicle
Yes, he's
for
got awful.
transmitting.
All right.
Go ahead.
He's so awful. The whole point is Milley is accused of making a call to give a foreign entity, our enemy, not our ally, a heads up that Trump is crazy and he might be nuking you. So, or they got in touch with him or whatever, and he said, don't worry, I'm not going to let it happen. Like he's in charge, where he's not in charge. Okay? Just remember, whatever the real story is or the transcript or whatever, because I think this is the one phone call that there's actually a transcript in this book where everything else is BS, because this Woodward guy is making a point to say, oh, this phone call, I have a transcript. This one, I have a transcript. Okay? But remember what they did to General Flynn when they were transitioning power over to Trump, and he was talking to Russia about, you know, what we can work on in the future, and they made him out to be a traitor and everything else because Flynn had the receipts.
100%.
And he knew all,
He knew
you know,
where the
and
bodies were
Obama
buried.
hated him. All right, it was all part of this Russia collusion BS. Okay, and it's just incredible. I mean, everyone's seeing in real time. People that are just coming to wake up, just starting to wake up, they're seeing in real time what we've known for years, and how it's a two-tier justice system, and how they go after patriots, and how scumbags get to roam free to be a scumbag another day. And it's insane. It's insane. It's like there's red pills dropping everywhere, and you know, and somebody take them so you can get your wings. Okay, because it's enough already. I can't. These people are killing me.